Sometimes the person that you're dating, that you're partnered with, or that you're married to is secretly competing with you. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I talked about competition after the breakup, and this commenter here says, my ex-partner was competing with me when we were together, lol. And that's a lot of times that's what's happening. um, and I've spoken about this before. I really do think that, like, there is a one-upsmanship game that people secretly play when they're in relationships with each other. And a lot of times one person is completely oblivious, and this person is sabotaging every step of the way because they're too busy looking at what you're doing and trying to compete with you so that their ego can be satisfied. And so what does that look like? And I've given examples of this before, but what this may look like is, you may have, it could be something simple, like you may have friends and family that loves you, and your person has nobody, right? And if your person has nobody, then they feel like they have to go out and find somebodies, and so that could lead to affairs. You're getting a big promotion at your job. Before, when you and your person were together, you were making less than your person, but now you have this promotion, and now you're making 5 times what your person is making. And instead of, they're going to pretend to congratulate you, but they may not show up at your party, your celebration party. They may go out and start having some affairs because they want to feel like a big person now. I have to feel like I'm getting all this attention and I'm successful and that people want me, because secretly they feel like, now that you got all this money and all this success, you won't want me. And why would you want me? I wouldn't want me either, that kind of stuff. And so a lot of it is projection into what they would do and how they feel. And so they project that onto you, but they're secretly competing with you as a way so that they can stay up here and you can stay down here. And so that's, a lot of times that's where a lot of the relational discord comes from. Cheating is a big one, I think. Physical aggression is also another big one. But also, stealing money, or, making irresponsible decisions with money, dragging your feet on getting a job and contributing to the household. I think, if you watched Blue Therapy on Netflix, Blue Therapy has some excellent examples of some competitions. When you have people that fully neglect their partner and they're just like, I'm not going to give you what you want. I think that's probably number one. When you have partners that know what you want in a relationship, hey, I want marriage, I want babies, I want this and that, and they dangle the carrot, maybe saying some stuff that you want to hear, but ultimately they never give it to you. So carrot dangling is a big one, as I like to call it. Weaponized incompetence is also another big one. When you're with somebody and you know that you need partnership, and they're completely clueless on how to do the simple things, and they sabotage so that you could just do it all by yourself. If you got kids at home and all of a sudden they feel, like they don't know how to watch the kids, or they don't know how to take care of the kids, and so you ultimately end up doing it. So I've talked about quite a bit of these pretty extensively on this channel and on the podcast. But you want to get out of that. You will waste years with somebody who is competing with you. And sometimes that competition can be fatal. It can be deadly because they might want to take you out. People can get very serious about that competition. And they want to have the upper hand at the relationship at all times. And they want to compete, but they also want to control the outcome. They don't want to have a fair competition, right? They want to control the outcome where they're always winning. And when they see that they can't win or that they're not going to win, that's where you have the narcissistic injury. And that's where things can become incredibly dangerous. I think it's actually, it may lead to some of these cases here that we see where women, these successful women, women who are mothers and who are basically running the home on their own, are being taken out, or attempted to be taken out. I think that's where things are. So you want to be careful with choosing a partner that's constantly trying to compete with you in this invisible game, because they also want to control the outcome of the match. And that's where you can get caught up. But you can also be sabotaged for so many years, and genuinely think you're a good person by trying to work it out, spend copious amounts of money on therapy and all the things to try to make it work out. But it won't, because sadly that person is caught up in proving that they are better than you and that they deserve success and you don't. Hope that helps. Thanks so much. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and then subscribe to the newsletter and follow. Thanks so much.